As Mike Heika, DallasStars.com, joins us now here on The Fan. And a good afternoon, Mike. How the heck are you?
I'm excited for tonight.
Yes, sir. How good are the Stars' chances of stealing this division in the last week if they can win this one?
Even if they win this one, it's still going to be tough because I think Winnipeg would have the tiebreakers. The first tiebreaker is, I believe, regulation wins, and then regulation overtime wins. I think the Jets are in a good place on both those. The good thing is if they have a strong performance, if they get their confidence back tonight, they seem to finish out with 3 winnable games with Utah, Detroit, and Nashville, who are all going to miss the playoffs. So, I mean, on that side, the scheduling could help them, but it really would have to come down to the end because Winnipeg's a very good team, and they find a way to win a lot of different games.
Have you observed any signs that maybe these third-period meltdowns have altered their confidence in any way so far?
No, but Pete said yesterday, I thought it was a really good comment, that one of the problems with a situation like this, especially when it's 3 games in a row, is that the next time it happens, and it will happen, then the thought process is, oh no, here we go again, almost like a golf shot or whatever. The good part is that up until this little stretch, they were 35-1-1 in closing out games. I think they're among the leaders in empty net goals with 19. So literally for the 80%, 90% of the season, they were fantastic in third periods. I think they're 12-3-3 or something like that when tied after 2 periods. Like I said, they were 35-1-1 when leading after 2 periods. So this is a recent phenomenon. It is concerning, obviously, this close to the playoffs, but they've battled this in the past and been very good at it. So in that regard, you sit there and go, okay, well, they'll be fine. But there is that it plants a seed of, and this is what I think happened the other night, is you give up 1, oh no, well, let's just not give up oh no, we gave up 2. Well, of course, we're not going to give up 3, and then 5 seconds left in the game, and there's a guy wide open in the slot. So it does get into your brain, I think, a little bit, but hopefully they find a way to deal with it.
And they're still 7-1-2 in their last 10 here, Mike. It's not like they're playing bad hockey, but certainly that could linger, and they need to stop the bleeding as early as tonight, hopefully. But what do you think is some of the biggest issues there with those late lapses? Is it just self-inflicted wounds? Is it defensively? Are they just not where they need to be right now?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. So literally for the last 12, 15 games, their record's been fantastic, but a lot of it has been based on goaltending. So I believe the last 11 games, they have been outshot, which is something they have not done in the Pete DeBoer era. They almost always outshoot the opposition. So that's certainly a problem. Part of the reason they're, getting outshot is they can't get the puck out of their own end at times. They get stuck back there. And then when they do get stuck back there, then that's when you take penalties. So when you're just spending time in your defensive zone, those are the teams that are the most penalized. Well, Stars have been one of the least penalized teams because they control the puck, they get it into the offensive zone, they play with the lead a lot. That's also a big thing. So they've actually been playing with the lead lately, but they're just making, I don't know what it is. I think their turnovers are up. So that's either a physical decision where you just screw up, or it's reading the play wrong and the opposition sees where you're going. And then the other thing is, it's just getting the puck out. They miss Miro. They definitely miss Miro because that is what he does. As much as Cale Makar or these others who win the Vezina, not the Vezina, the whatever defenseman award is, my brain's freezing here. But those guys score points. Miro controls the puck. And it's like having a great point guard. And everything plays off of that. Everything he touches, there's ripples that come off of what Miro does because he calms them down. He gets the puck out. He makes a 5-foot pass to an open forward, and all of a sudden now they're going through the neutral zone with speed. And it's just a lot of different things. So that's a big part of it. But they got to find a way to deal with it because there's a really good chance he's not ready for the first round.
Don't feel bad about forgetting names. Broadus does it all the time here on our show, Mike.
Yeah,
it's Mike Norris
trophy. Is it the Norris?
It's the Norris.
I was ready to chime in, and with the Norris, I was thinking, is it the Selke or the Norris trophy? Yeah,
it's a Norris. Hey, good job.
Good old Norris. It's our senior staff writer for DallasStars.com, Mike Heika, with us here in the GBAG Nation. You brought up Miro. Is there any new news on him? They seemed to note during the broadcast that he for sure would be out of the opening round series. Did the Stars push back on that at all? And we did get positive news on Seguin today, right?
Yeah, well, and again, we've had positive news. Honest and truly, and again, I don't want to talk out of school because I don't know all of the numbers, but one of the big problems with Seguin is that he makes $9.5 million and he's on long-term IR. So then there are financial contract issues that have to be satisfied for him to play a game in the regular season. He hasn't gone through the physical contact yet, or at least not enough of it to put him in the lineup. But even if they do that, there's a chance he may not be able to play in an NHL regular season game. Now, Gabriel Landeskog, who's been out for 2.5, 3 years, is going to the minors, and there's a chance he might play in the AHL to get himself ready for a return for Colorado. And so I think that option is there for Tyler. It's called a conditioning stint, and you don't need any kind of contract changes to do that. So I think that option's there. But we asked Pete about it the other day. He said he wasn't really sure. A lot of all of this is they're not really sure. And to be quite honest on Pete, I think he got asked a month ago, is there a chance Miro could miss the first round? And he said, sure, there's a chance. I mean, we don't know. And he's kind of followed that answer, which I think is a very honest answer. They don't know. I don't think there's any chance Miro could play in the regular season, but then does that mean that by game 4, if it's 2-2 or, if game 5, it's 2-2 and he's skating and he looks good, could he jump right in and play in a key game 5 against Colorado? I think it's an option. I think it's something we don't know. And so a lot of this is how he responds and, what he does when he's on the ice. And then the other issue is that we've seen when Miro comes back off whatever little injuries he has, they play him for 25 or 26 minutes. They don't ease him into the game too often because you're a coach and you want to win, and he does 100 things really well. And so then I think the temptation is if you're going to put him in, you need to have him in a really good place because I don't think that they're very good at, like I said, that just giving him a shift here and there and seeing how he works it out. I mean, maybe they'll change. Maybe that'll be something they work on. But I truly believe that they don't know. I think it's a day-to-day proposition. They're going to have to get him out on the ice. They're going to have to get him with the team. They're going to have to work him against the boards and see how the knee holds up against, physical contact. And then we'll see. Like I said, if we get to the point where it's game 7, I think he's definitely that definitely changes a lot of things if they're to a place where they could be eliminated from the playoffs. But I honestly believe we're just going to have to take it day to day at this point in time. I do believe Tyler Seguin will play in game 1. I think he's in a place where he's ready. It's just a matter of how does he get himself ready. Is that do the Stars change some things around and let him play in a game at Nashville or Detroit, or do they just do they send him to the AHL, or do they just run him through practice and put him out there for game 1? But I think he's going to be on the ice for game 1.
Mike Heika, DallasStars.com, just painting the picture of, was that a possibility of a Miro return in game 7? That kind of gave me goosebumps right there. How dramatic would that be?
Exciting.
Well, it'd be great. And Pete's history in game 7, there'd be 100 things. There's so many goofy things in this potential series. One, Landeskog is their captain, is Colorado's captain. He's been out for more than 2 years. He's really been working hard to come back. And then the question is he going to be ready? It looks like he probably will, but we'll see. The other thing is Miro Rantanen is like he was Colorado royalty. and now he's going to go out there and try and steal their thunder. And for whoever loses, if this is a first-round series, and I think it will be, whoever loses this first-round series is their season's just it's going to be a punch in the gut, because both teams have aspirations of winning the Cup. Both teams have made big moves either in the off season or during the season. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a tremendous series. And if it were to go to Game 7 and Miro would come, it would be great drama. I mean, I think the eyes of I think Florida and Tampa are going to be playing too, potentially. And, the eyes of the East would probably be on that. I think the eyes of the NHL West are definitely going to be on this series.
How much of an ad is Seguin coming off the injury and maybe a little rusty? What do you hope, or what do you think they get from him?
Well, there's two sides to all this. He's gone through the playoffs before, and he hasn't been healthy, and it has affected his playoff numbers. Like, his playoff numbers are not near as good as his regular season numbers, and that's generally because he's been hurt in the playoffs. So that history is there. Second, I think he had 22 points in 21 games to start the season playing with Duchesne and Marchment, and that line at even strength, I think, was the best line in the NHL. So now, they're playing with Granlund right now. Would they go right back to Duchesne, Marchment, Seguin? If they do, can they get that magic back really quickly? If they do, then that's just amazing. Now you're talking about a second line that, might be even better than your first line. Your first line has Robertson, Henson, and Rantanen, which might be one of the better lines in the league as well. So you take all that, then the other third part is, if you really like Granlund and Granlund's playing well with Duchesne and Marchment, could you put Tyler with Jamie Benn and Wyatt Johnston? And Tyler, when he's gotten a chance to play with Jamie Benn, as he did for, the better part of the previous 10 years, he's actually looked pretty good in that role too. So it's just a lot of, I think Tyler's going to be great. I think the fact that he's worked really hard to get through this, the fact that he had his first child, it's just things that I think help a player get centered and get in a place where they can perform well in these situations. So we'll see. But in my mind, I think he's going to have a really good playoff.
Well, thank you for all those insights and knowledge, Mike. That was terrific. And enjoy the run, sir. Maybe we'll chat with you soon.
That would be great. Thanks.